Christian brethren. But the way he treated us, like, bro, it was bad, bro. And I understand, like, if I had like a different personality, that I would have easily, just been molded into a capitulating bitch, right? Which is where he would wanted me to have been. He would have wanted dark, anybody who like goes against him, he'd want them to be not a combative, open-minded, or kid, combative person. He does not want that. He'd rather you be a docile bitch. And so I just think that it's really bad spirit. And yeah, I think that's I mean, if you want to say Bart as a white Christian, I haven't actually seen that.
Shamos has the same critique. All the fucking Calvinists, all the
Wait,
Calvinists.
so why are we pretending that? So, Timothy, if you already, so I take it. Yeah, look, bro, it's real simple. So the baseline is created through indoctrination, and then everything that proceeds beyond the indoctrination is the character issue. He has character issues. You just like acknowledged one of the biggest character issues. As a Christian, you shouldn't be trying to get people to bend the knee to you.
No. He's not gonna look. I'll be real. It's funny enough. When I first became cool with Andrew, the way it's like some weird kind of friendship we had, which was like I used to troll him in his chat. He'd come in the room and here we go, sacrificing Christians at the altar to Jack.
There you go. So you already know. Oh my God.
He sees Christians like you guys as fucking expendable.
No, he wants to be famous. He's a clout chaser.
You're like these expendable test subjects, and you're these crash dummies he uses.
You think so?
He just like slaps you with the Jack extracts proper.
That's all.
Like, watches all of your bones.
You really think?
Watches all of your bones turn to dust. Like that, I'll grant you. And if you think that's just completely unchristian, I mean, maybe 100%. Or if you think that's like very sinister or something, okay, maybe. But to say he's a racist when he used to do it to Matt Adams, he used to do it to John Lee. I mean, maybe Korean makes him racist. He does it to Johnny Horse hates him. Right? All of these guys hate him. All of the other dancing puppets, that dickhead. What's the kid? Satan. What's his name? I forget. The Calvinist kid. And he's another. Like these guys are all white, and they say the same shit about him.
Yeah, so Simon, there seems to be like a genuine interest to want to sort of learn the arguments by him.
You need to take back that slander, Concrete. You out here slandering my boy.
No, I mean, he shows such genuine interest in like, towards God. I think he's very dedicated to God. Like, truly he is. I mean, the Christian God, of course.
Timothy, you're the one that like gave me information on his true beliefs on race. You're the one. What was it? You actually, it was so earth shattering for me that I was like,
what did I say?
Yo, I'm trying to remember. I need to remember, but I basically told him. I didn't tell him who said it, but I was like, bro, even people on your mod team said XYZ, and I can't remember it right now. I can't remember. It was pretty good.
Look, what if you're using it as the basis of things, a racist.
Yeah, but that was then, bro. That was then. Right now, I don't remember it. If you jog my memory about some egregious shit he said on race, then
putting lion sign back on a slave plantation and enslaving all black.
Concrete is remembering.
Oh, I know what you're talking. Correct me if I'm wrong. You think is it the time when he was in Chilism and he said because this is the only thing I would have probably said where he said slave masters
Make
had it hard
slavery
too.
great again. He said
The slave masters had it hard too. You know, is that what you're talking about? I don't think.
I mean, Lion did deserve it.
Bro, this was like old school Chilism, like before it became commercial. That's such a thing about reparations. He responded to someone saying like, you know how hard it was. You know how like someone did one of those like.
Oh, that one was good, but I think there was something.
Were you in the room when Andrew was telling Lion to make slavery great again?
Someone did
Shut the fuck up.
Someone did a day in the life of a slave type scenario thing. And Andrew responded with, "Bro, the slave masters had it hard too, you know." Andrew's like, if there is an entry in the dictionary for put your foot in your mouth, then Andrew definitely needs to have his
Continue to double down on it.
I've been getting quite a sweat. Pooping on these. Can someone bring me a mint julep because I've been working up quite a fever out here.
Wait, Himothy, let's talk about that, brother. Are you saying that like slavery is like always wrong? Like always?
Hashtag no. No, but like to be fair, like because if that's what you're using, like the way that conversation ended was positively with Andrew basically agreeing with that black people should get reparations. So even then, that actually wouldn't service your point. It's just he just like knows how to put like I think at this point he's almost like calibrated his like fucking his communication faculties or whatever fucking instruments to just literally say the most sensational fucking thing. He just has to phrase things in the most controversial way. Whether or not that actually reflects his opinion, I'm not sure.
You know, Himothy, when you said you were going to fit all of Andrew R's dick and both of his balls in your mouth, I didn't think it was possible, but you definitely...
I swear on my life, I don't know what it's like to be somebody like you that is blocked by so many people who they are desperate to talk to. Like, what does that feel like?
Can you say bravo?
Oh, yeah, wait, I don't care.
Say bravo. Say bruv. Come on, bruv. Come on.
I actually don't care what the answer to that question is. And, oh no, I've got this account blocked as well. Okay.
Guys, I want to ask you guys
Don't
something.
worry,
I want to ask you guys something.
Yeah, I'll just keep blocking them every time I hear your fucking
Guys, stop it.
retarded voice, bro. Just block them. Block a new one. Block a new one.
So, it so happens that after positing a very detailed explanation for like a divinely simple God, Andrew still happens to call my God a shoe, like in a public room. And he's saying, come on, Nargis, let's hear your argument for the shoe God. And I really don't know what to do about it.
He thinks it's a shoe?
Yeah. He's saying, it so happens that here, I don't know, this one believes in Allah, this one believes in Jesus, and Nargis believes in a shoe. Like, what the fuck?
What does he mean by that? Like, I'm sure I don't get the...
So my God wouldn't have like agency like a person God, right? Or emotion. So it's got some kind of mechanistic feel to it, right? Like a force, for example. He's calling that a shoe. Like an inanimate sort of non-personal object.
But why a shoe?
I don't know.
Because women love their shoes.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, this general, tendency to, disparage, every other atheist concept except your own.
Exactly.
I'm all in favor of mockery, right? But, you gotta know, when you're in a glass house.
Exactly. And he's modding a very packed public room of bath. And with his like man god, calling my god a shoe.
Yeah, Bart's crazy. Well, I guess he's crazy for modding him. I don't know why he did that.
Look, if this is like an Andrew bashing room, right? Let me also something I was thinking about the other day, which is like I don't know anybody else who like takes takes intellectual discourse as a pure sort of spectator sport, right? Like Andrew does. Right? Like he gets like involved, and that's right word, in conversations about all sorts of like subjects, but only to the extent of like watching people argue, right? Like he sits back and listens to like how the rhetoric is like flowing back and forth, and he makes some vague sort of conclusion based on like who seems to be winning the argument. But beyond that, he doesn't actually care about the argument. Like, why do you ask him like, what does he think? Hey, Timothy's not here. Half the fun of this, it's not as fun anymore when he's not here to hear.
It's like the sports at the Pantheon. Where Sparker just went down to fight his enemy.
No, but like, his story of how he decided that he's now agnostic on evolution and stuff is because he heard like a couple of debates between that guy, that Ben guy, right, that he brought on, and a couple of people, and it sounded to him like they didn't have answers to whatever like reasons like Ben had, right? And so now he's like, well, no, that decides it. Now I'm agnostic. Right? I don't know what to do.
So Deepak, about a year ago.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so about a year ago, like, you had to see that painful moment in which Andrew accepted fallibilism. It was truly like a very nerve-wracking moment for him, where the world collapsed. Huh?
Accepting
Fallibilism. No, fallible.
Yeah. I vaguely remember that time, yeah. Wasn't Jack?
It was Albedo. And I was like telling Albedo, bro, stop, man. I can see the certainty of a man crumble down. He's like, no, it's good for him. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew does move on positions, like, in surprising ways. Gotta give him that.
Yeah, I like that.
I've heard about it. I've heard tell, but I've yet to see it.
Oh, he's moved on, for example, attitudes towards trans people, like this fallibilism thing, evolution, apparently.
That's a big one.
These are all before my time.
I don't know if the evolution one is before your time. That was, at least you told us this like a few months ago. So, I mean, veganism, he took out, like, look, I mean, I have a lot of respect for him and become a vegan, right? Even though his story is kind of muddled and confused, he's kind of backing away from the reason somewhat in this weird way. Because I think he also realizes that, because at some point he realized that, like, if he were to, the reason he's a vegan, like, if he were to actually, like, publicly, like, sort of, first, like, acknowledge it, right? It would also, like reduce his ability to argue against the problem of evil, right? Because part of his defense against like animal suffering is that, well, it's possible that animals aren't really suffering and stuff like that. I remember the moment when that thing clicked in his head, right? Like, fuck, there's a contradiction between these two things now, and so I have to come up with like some other justification for my vegan.
But that was very endearing. He does change on positions pretty well. Like, his agreeableness is pretty high, I think, except for when it comes to like his hardcore frameworks in Christianity.
No, but look, I think if you look at all his positions and stuff, like, it's always like somehow he finds a way to like have these like kind of extreme fundamentalist positions in completely inert ways, right? Like his position on stoning gays is that it may be correct or something. Like, it's like this thing that gives him a complete out, right? So that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you could say, like, if tomorrow, like, if legislation were to pass saying you can now stone gays, right? He has the plausible deniability to say that. Like, basically, he has the ability to, like, do what he really believes in his heart.
Absolutely.
Which is that, right?
Like he would totally be okay. I think if push comes to shove, as much as like his self would sort of fight with the whole idea of like watching someone get stoned or a genocide of sorts if God ever ordered it, I think he would fight that feeling. Truly fight it and say, God said it, so I'm doing it. Like, wow, I can't fathom that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's why I guess I like Andrew, because I think inside that fundamentalist,
Yeah.
Christian, whatever,
Yeah.
flexible exterior is a moral person, like waiting.
Definitely.
Like,
And a kind person too.
I mean, that's a lot to overcome for, especially if you come from like a place of fundamentalism. Like sometimes when you ask the fundamentalist, the atheist person, you know, like, well, what do you think? Do you think that this thing is moral or immoral? Is it good or is it evil? And they'll just like recount like, oh, what they think God's view is on it or whatever. And you just go back, well, no, I want to know what you think on it. And they just can't tell you what they think, but it's hard to come out of.
Yo, Nargi, I found a new hadith. So it says there are 7 earths. It's a Sahih hadith, very reliable. Looking for the other 6 earths. Just, I'll keep looking, you know.
Well, what does that mean? Multiple earths.
Okay, so here's what it says in the Quran. In the hadith. Sahih al-Bukhari 24:54. Whoever takes a piece of land of others unjustly, he will sink down the 7 earths on the day of resurrection.
So you're saying it's like 7 layers in the earth crust, and at the bottom is maybe hell or something?
Yeah, there's like a hollow earth or some type shit.
So like the bodies, when we bury them, if they're bad people, they get like swallowed deeper down?
Something like that.
So it's like saying 7 layers of the earth. That sounds like it's going to support their Quran has a unique scientific knowledge claim.
Yeah, well, you'll find that there aren't 7 layers. Okay, how many layers of...
They have some 7 stuff going on. Like 7 layers of something.
The Earth has 4 main layers. The crust, the mantle, the outer core, and the inner core. Oh, that doesn't sound like 7.
No, it's 7 layers of heaven. Like
No. And you have to train your ChatGPT to interpret them charitably. Is there a reasonable basis to interpret the actual that being somewhat 7 in support of a super scientific claim?
I don't think so.
Like, obviously, 4 is what we characterize it as, but...
Trying to say that Sam is engaging in Islamic phobic ChatGPT prompting?
Bro, where have you been, man?
This is not from ChatGPT.
Islamophobic AI prompting? Who would have thought? Who would have thunk?
Wait, Meg said, did you say, by reasonably you said about 7? Like, that seems like a little too reasonable. Or too charitable.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, if we want to interpret them charitably, we can't just say, 4, because 4 is the classification that the scientists are currently working with, sure. But it could be, you could make a fun argument, and a Muslim will someday, that, 7 is correct, and if we can get 7 layers, the Quran is, super true again.
Right, so Baghdad is very smart. First see their perspective, and then put it forth, through a scientific perspective. Because you want to know what your answers are going to be anyway.
Yeah, the main thing is, I think you have to interpret it charitably because they will interpret it charitably.
Correct.
If you're talking to Muslims and they have a thing that says 7 earths, right? Sam is going to pop up and say, that's dumb. A different guy's going to raise his hand. That sounds like 7 planets in the solar system. And then you read the hadith, it turns out it's talking about 7 layers of the earth. That's a scientific claim. That could be supported and proven, and then it's going to be a feather in their little Muslim cap.
Well, what's great about making testable hypotheses is, sometimes they come out false and that there aren't fucking 7 of them.
Yeah, I was going to say, too,
Oh my gosh. This is a taxonomical issue, not a fucking... like an ontological issue. You wanna refute their ontological position with a taxonomical response. You're being
they say that like they're now that the way they argue is like they say that there's this miracle of the Quran is perfect, and that's evidence of the existence of God. That's like the argument that they make.
But did you understand my argument? Because I think Sam understood.
You said it was like taxonomical and ontological.
Yeah, but that would be true.
Do you think they're making a taxonomical claim or an ontological claim?
They don't care about that. It's all read literally amongst the Salafis. So this would hold true. Your argument concrete.
No, Nargis. I'm talking about their response.
Their response would be a very literalist approach because he's attacking the Salafi position.
I'm talking about Sam's response. Yes. Good Nargis trying to save the day.
No, I'm just saying.
Concrete said your name correctly and couldn't stand the sound of it. He went back to the other one. he went Nargis. Nargis.
Oh, I don't even know. I don't even know how to pronounce her name.
Where's Sela, bro? We need Sela for this.
Yes, okay, that's fine. I got you.
When it sounded like it actually like revolts you, you're like Nargis.
I don't know. I thought I mispronounced it.
Oh, okay.
No. It's guess.
She is so, such a classy lady. She doesn't correct anybody.
Oh, stop it. You ain't seen my ghetto yet, babe?
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry, I really can't do it. I can't do the black at all.
I want to say something about the fucking the prediction stuff, or hypothesis prediction and stuff, or whatever. Or like prophecy in the case of the Quran and like the Bible and shit like that. Okay, they say I guess it's supposed to be 7 layers. It says there's 7 layers of the earth in the Quran, and if the point there is to say like, well, it predicts that that there's going to be 7 layers of the earth, but and like the sort of way that like what distinguishes like a strong prediction from like a weak prediction is like the risk factor of the prediction. So if a hypothesis or theory makes like a really risky prediction that could that's like the more specificity to the prediction is better evidence. Like if it gets confirmed, it's even stronger evidence than like if the prediction was kind of vague. So like so if it's just like about 7, if it's like about 7, it's not really that's like a really weak prediction, even if it's confirmed, it's really weak.
Okay, Elliot, I'll give you a very simple way that I could turn 4 into 7 to make this hadith true. All I have to do is say that one of those 4 layers is very, very special and singular, and the other 3 have an upper and lower layer.
Yes.
There you go.
You sneaky bastard.
Exact knows the position.
What they're saying charitably, because they will say it. They'll figure it out. They're not idiots. And they want it to be true. Like, you can look at it and say, look, you're not really saying that. This isn't well supported. That's fair. But if you want it to be true, true enough.
Does it actually say that individual layers are split into 2 sections or something?
I mean, even if they're not, they can still like make that up. Like, talk to a lawyer about it. Talk to Mixet.
All I'm saying is that I can simply turn 4 into 7 by characterizing 3 as having some kind of a dual nature.
Right, but then you run the risk of abrogating the word of God. And
it's a hadith. It's not the word of God. It's just like
okay,
it's a hadith.
Oh
this isn't even worth.
It's not the Quran. Oh my goodness.
No, but to them it's a big deal. Don't get me wrong.
Well, the way I understand it is
like the Salafis die for it.
Okay, but I know that like not all Muslims accept just
not all.
There's like they have there's like methods and tradition and stuff like that they accept or reject. So I don't know. I'm saying it's not like a catch-all argument against like the existence of God, or rather Allah. I should.
Right, one of Sam's weaker attacks.
What, white fatigue against the Quran?
Yes.
Well, I'm just sick of white people with their they can't dance, their food sucks. They're like, well, how are you doing? What's the malarkey? What are you doing here, bub? And that's just annoying.
Oh my God, it's like what every Muslim sounds like exactly.
Whereas I would much rather be a Persian king, like a Shah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Keep quiet.
I'd rather be.
Don't think of Persia for some time. We are at you at the moment.
Persian throne. It was gonna be
You dream on, Sammy boy. Dream on.
You imagine me as Xerxes, Xerxes the Great, in kind of an empire, eating grapes, having, being like, I'm gonna conquer Greece. That sounds sick.
Oh my god. Shameless. Still speaking about being a Persian king.
Yeah, one day I'll be a Persian king. It's so much better than being a white man.
White. Oh, white.
A white.
Persians are pretty white, dude.
Whoa. That will either make them offended or make them happy, depending on which Persian you're talking
We're all of them.
I feel like I categorize Persian dudes right with Italians in terms
Yeah,
of
correct. And also in mannerism.
They're more like
everybody the same.
And the gayness. Yeah, gold chain. And the gayness and all that. Even the straight.
I know.
Persian men are gay?
Could be the Europe of the Middle East.
And the kissing of cheeks and all that.
Damn, Nargis doesn't like love. Platonic love.
No, I mean, if you'd see it in my culture, you would see, like, it's almost quite gayish. Like, for a Western man, it just would be quite shocking.
I'd be tricking all the Persian dudes. They go to kiss my cheek and I give them the mouth.
Is it called gay in the morning?
The call to gayer.
Salam alaikum. Salam again.
Yo, Roland, do you feel like what Israel is doing is well thought out and a part of a very good plan, or is it helter-skelter, impromptu, we can do it now, we're gonna do it, Bibi Netanyahu, I'm losing my job, I'm about to go to jail, let me throw a Hail Mary pass? What do you think? Or is it just according to everything they wanted, their original well thought out plan?
I gotta be honest, man, I don't even have the beginnings of enough of an understanding to answer a question like that. I think even if they didn't have a plan for it, it's something they've obviously been wanting to do. Like, you could look at quotes from the top military generals and political individuals that, blatantly said we want to wipe them off the face of the earth, destroy their homes, they have nothing to come back to. So whether or not like it's super planned out, I don't know. I don't think it really has to be super planned out. It's just like a bunch of poor people that they're bombing. I don't think it's like super complex,
What's the difference between tactics and strategies? Go ahead.
Strategies are long term. Tactics are short term. Now,
short term what? Tactics?
Like, one is on over the course of months, one of the course over years. But one thing a quote that I like about generals is that a great general doesn't think about tactics or strategy. He thinks about logistics.
Their tactics are what are used to implement strategies.
Correct. Strategy usually comes from some political will or cultural desire, whereas tactics, that comes from what is effective to further your goals.
Strategy.
Some chess players are more tactical, some chess players are more strategic.
Oh, one feeds into the other. Listen, so I take it that there's been a lot of different tactics employed, and there is an overarching strategy, but I do think that is not well thought out. The strategy is defeat our enemies. The tactics are whenever their opportunity presents itself, we will attack our enemies. Now, does that mean because you have a strategy, because you employ tactics, that it's well thought out? I don't know. I don't think so.
I mean, again, it's not like Israel's doing anything like overly impressive with Gaza and well thought out. They're just like dropping bombs.
Yeah, they just take
constantly.
opportunities and fucking yeah.
We will bomb the neighborhoods to make them safe for everyone to come back to live in. But my house is gone. Exactly, it is now safe. We will find a beautiful Jew family from Manhattan to take your home and your land. They will love it here. You will be happy to give it to them.
I'll read you a quote.
Sure.
And I can see no reason why anyone should suppose that in the future the same motifs already heard will not be sounding still. Put to use by reasonable men to reasonable ends, or by madmen to nonsense and disaster. Joseph Campbell.
Dude, I love his soups.
Is concrete readers from what the inside lid of like a tin can.
I got a quote concrete. Many writers and thinkers see a kind of informed political engagement, even a revolutionary potential in rap and hip hop. They couldn't be more wrong. By reinforcing the stereotypes that have long hindered blacks, by teaching young blacks that a thuggish adversarial stance is the properly authentic response to a presumptively racist society, rap retards black success.
Yeah,
Concrete, you think?
That's got to be you, Sam. Half-baked, superficial understanding of black community. That's got to be.
I don't read my quotes as quotes. That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's definitely your school of thought. But go ahead, Roland. I want to. Hopefully, you have something.
Do you think that black people should visit violence upon people who say the N-word?
Of course not.
Why do you think
Much in the same way Israel shouldn't visit violence upon people who say, I want to see you die. I want to be wiped from the earth. You shouldn't visit violence upon those people because those people are obviously crazy.
But if they're building nuclear weapons, you change your mind then?
Are they allowed to build nuclear weapons?
The Gazans are building nuclear weapons?
If you say no, they're not allowed, then I would say, by what authority, sir, do you say these things?
It's pretty amazing, though, how quickly Israel fucked Iran up. Like, have you been following that at all, Concrete?
Yeah.
No.
They control the.
Basically, Israel went in, took out like 9 of their top generals with drone strikes. There was something recently too. So like nine individuals. Then bombed all of anti-air establishments, bombed their nuclear refining sites, destroyed those. So basically now they're just flying planes over Iran and just dropping bombs whenever they want to, and Iran has absolutely no anti-air response. They're just getting bombed to shit and just being like, Israel, please stop.
Yeah, they're just hanging out up there. Israel now owns the airspace of Iran.
Yeah, Conker, I got another quote for you. If you finish high school and keep a job without having children before marriage, you'll almost certainly not be poor, period. I've repeatedly felt the air go out of the room upon pointing this out to a black audience. No one of any stripe can deny it. It's a human truth on view. In 2004, the poverty rate amongst black people who follow that formula was less than 6%, as opposed to the overall rate of 24.7%. Oh man, it's so hard to ask black people to, don't, finish high school, don't have kids before you get married. They keep, oh my God, such a different high standard to ask.
That must be genetic.
Yeah,
Right?
if only we could ask the Jews not to get expelled. Anyway, I'm not gonna fall for it. Anyway, so Sam, Sam, here's the issue, right? If it were the case that blacks were allowed to traverse the social hierarchy unthwarted, guess what? We'd be like all over the place. But unfortunately, we know through different studies conducted by Princeton, Harvard, so on and so forth, when you are a black person with an equal fucking resume to a white person with a criminal record, all right? The black person, no criminal record. White person, criminal record, equal resume. The white person is more likely to get a call back. And we understand that tribalism is a real thing. When a white guy sees a downtrodden white guy, he says to himself, but for the grace of God, there go I. When he sees a downtrodden black guy, he says, stop drinking those 40s and fucking those bitches and listening to that rap music, and you could make something of yourself, Tyrone. And I get it. We, as human beings, are plagued with very poor thinking, a lack of empathy in a lot of areas, so on and so forth.
Wait, but Concrete, what does this have to do with the very valid point Sam made about having kids before high school?
Well, I just take it that black kids have parents that love them as well, and I take it that black parents are saying the same exact thing, and I take it that there are some who haven't heeded their parents' warnings, and you're using that to label the entire community. I think black kids have black parents and black grandparents and cousins and aunties and uncles and neighbors who love them just as much as everybody else.
But why do you think that black women are so comfortable having so many baby daddies? Like, you don't see like white women in general or other races like proud of or talking about the number of baby daddies they have. In black communities, it seems like the women just do not, like, they're not even fazed by having 3 kids from 3 different fathers. It's like normal.
Yeah, so this sounds like black women have a higher pain tolerance. If you've done any like contemplation, you understand how hard it is to raise children. And you're just saying that whenever you hear whatever rebellious rhetoric, that it's like a true reflection of their internal beliefs, and you think that they just want pain because they can handle it more. Okay, all right. I can't, dissuade you from those positions because you've obviously thought about it long and hard. Pause. So it is what it is.
I'm lost, dude. I was trying to figure out why they're collecting baby daddies like first edition Pokemon cards.
Same reason any poor person from any region or misguided youth does it. It's no different than the only issue is that the white kids are having more abortions, perhaps, right? It's not that they aren't misguided.
Well, that's not true. Black people per capita have the highest number of abortions.
Oh, okay. So it isn't that they aren't having abortions. It isn't that, because I didn't say they're having more abortions per capita. I said they are having more abortions, right? So I take it that there's a whole number that exists where white kids are having more numbers or more abortions. But anyway, you did a comparison. I did a whole number. Anyway, the whole point is
you did a comparison.
You can't talk about you did a comparison. I did a whole number. Yeah. So, is it the case that there are more white aborted babies than black aborted babies? Yes or no?
I don't know what the numbers are.
Okay, just
I know per capita.
think about
I don't know in
it.
general.
Just think about it. Just think about
I would assume, yeah, probably.
Okay, all right, cool. Anyway, so when you talk about why are the black girls having babies? Well, the white kids are having babies too. They're just aborting them. right? So you're
No,
not
but we just said
able
per capita the black women abort more.
yeah, and you're still highlighting the ones that are having babies, and you're not
No, but we're
highlighting
talking
the white
about
kids.
like we're talking about per capita the black women that are having multiple
Yeah,
baby deaths.
I don't know.
Just
You think that's a
about
defeater to what I'm saying? Do you think that's a defeater to what I'm saying? Well, that's the problem. You have to think about it, right? Because the white community, if they didn't abort their kids, would be. No, well, actually, it's going to be more of like a media issue.
I'm lost.
Where
I'm lost.
it's fine. It's fine. It's real simple. You look at the black community. You say, look at all these women with all these kids, and you don't look at the white community who have the same issue, right? Because there are white kids. Huh? Sorry.
But they don't. That's what we're saying.
Oh, so white kids don't have babies out of wedlock? They don't have multiple baby daddies?
Not at nearly the same rate.
Oh, okay. So how do you see rates? You look at statistics to see rates, right? Did you look at statistics when you came up to these conclusions? Or was there like some media? I don't think so. I think there was a narrative that was presented to you before you looked at any statistics.
Just,
you
I'm driving right now, so I can't pull up right now.
Yeah. I don't think your beliefs, it doesn't matter what you're doing. I'm going to just say this. I don't think your beliefs about the black community was developed through your deep analysis of statistics.
Type it on ChatGPT.
You're not paying attention, bro. You got to listen. Your beliefs about the black community wasn't developed through your statistical analysis. It was developed through the media interpretation or media presentation of the black community and the headlines that you've heard about the black community. And then maybe at some point in your life, you decided for Clubhouse purposes to do the research so that you can come to Clubhouse to argue about the black community. But I don't think that was the beginning of your beliefs.
That's a bizarre point, right?
Okay.
So what you're saying is even if the belief were valid and were based on media and then was then supported by evidence, it would be a wrongful...
White kids having babies out of wedlock?
I'm not sure you're tracking.
Are white kids having babies out of wedlock? When was the last time you talked about white kids having babies out of wedlock?
They do it less.
When was the time that you talked about their welfare recipients of the white kid? When was the time that you talked about any of the elements of the white community? Let's say opioid addiction. Let's say the divorce rate's 50%. Let's say they're the red states that are net recipients of welfare. On and on and on. When was the last time you did any of that?
Okay.
Probably never.
I'm not sure the relevance.
Here, I'll explain it to you. You have been indoctrinated. I'll explain it. Well, that's fine. I'll explain it and I'll leave it alone. I'll explain it and then you can go. I'll explain it.
Just a moment.
I'll explain it and then I'll explain it and then you can go. I'll explain it and then you'll go.
But I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. So what's my point then?
Is addressing what's being said to you.
What's my point? What's my point?
We're showing you like specific examples.
What's my point?
Problems that are exacerbated in the black community when compared to other communities.
What's my point?
And then your point is essentially just like, well, look at all these other bad things that are happening
what's my
in
point?
other communities and the Indians that are pooping on the street in India, and why aren't we addressing that? Right?
Yeah, what's my point though?
It's just like an obfuscatory point. You're not really addressing what's being said to you by either myself or Sam. I mean, thankfully, we're not being like super serious and in debate mode about it, but you're not really addressing it.
No, you're not in debate mode.
Why are we not
You're
talking
definitely
about
not in debate mode.
these other problems?
Yeah, right? I'm so glad that you're being charitable and having an open and honest conversation and not being a debate, bro. I shudder to think what would happen if you weren't being if you were being a debate, bro, right? So anyway, like I said, I don't think your beliefs were born out of your evaluation of the statistics. I think you were indoctrinated. I think you've done little to no contemplation on the issue. I think you. All right. I think you've done little to no actual analysis. I think when you present the black community through the lens of the lowest or most negative
Concrete,
aspects.
why
I
do you
take that to
think
be
that? I'm asking you,
intentional.
why do you think
I take
they've
it
been
that you
entertained
want to
that
look
way?
at. I don't know.
He just gets
Well,
yelled
the
at.
thing is, I imagine that if you didn't want to look at the black community in the most negative light, you wouldn't look at the black community in the most negative light. But instead, it seems to like do something for you because I've heard you on like numerous occasions bring this up when we talk about white kids having abortions. Obviously, if you're having abortions, you aren't going to be plagued with the same sort of unwed parent situation and so on and so forth.
We've already
And all
addressed this,
sorts of
though. We
other
said that black
issues
people have it at
that the
much
black
higher
community
rates,
is
dude.
facing. But I don't think that's important to you. I think what's
If you
more
don't want to
important
honestly engage,
is
that's
to just
fine.
Concrete loves to bring up the perfidy of the Jews. So now I'm having fun reading quotes that are really eloquent, that are critical of black people.
Ooh, we can go both ways with that. Oh my gosh, we can. I'll take all your quotes. I'll take all your quotes, and I'm gonna win at the end of the day. And you're gonna be butthurt, and you're gonna be mad. And if I were to go through, like, if I were to go through the history of the Jews and all of the nice quotables about the Jews from fucking 700 BCE. Yeah, that's a weird obsession here. Because since it's the case, you want somebody who's committed it to memory. Ooh, they'll smoke you. Oh, let me not even say that too soon.
Jeez. Lion, I wouldn't mind interacting with Lion if I was like allowed to fight him. If I don't have to my face. But the fact that I can't do that, it's like, well, it's insane. The ghetto life is characterized by the spurious aristocracy, fine posing, obsession with trivial appearances, ostentatious displays of wealth, nicknames that are bestowed, titles, etc., etc.
Sam, do you really want to do this? Because I'll just go to the big dog of all big dogs and what he had to say. And you're not going to like it. Because irrespective of all the ails of my community, what your community's dealt with and is dealing with is going to deal with, I don't know, bro. People in gas houses shouldn't throw stones. Uh-oh.
What one is allowed to notice is how strikingly similar hip-hop culture is to African tribal culture. The tradition of men procreating with various women has a value in its own right. The disdain for weakness, the emphasis on personal ornamentation, the superstition and prejudice against the unfamiliar, the impatient with the logical rigor. These are the defining features of both hip-hop and African culture. They serve to keep Africans uneducated and impoverished, both in the mother continent and in America, and they may be doing the same thing in Europe.
Imagine being this arrogant in the middle of your people getting bombed on a regular basis. Is the black community getting bombed right now, Sam? Because I know your community is getting bombed. Maybe we should just see what the Iranians are saying about bombing your people. Is that cool, bro? You want to talk about that? Is that cool? Like you literally have bigger things to worry about than the black community, and this is what you want to spend your time doing?
You think we should work on
That's fine.
But brother,
that's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
You are a self-identified.
Clean up your house, sir. My
It's
goodness.
shiny.
Oh my gosh. Hold on. Let's go to the Drudge Report and see how clean the house is.
I spit shine to myself. But
Drudge Report.
You're the one who said a self-admitted anti-Semite.
Here we go. Here we go. Israel underestimated Iran's military strength.
Yeah, question mark. You're not letting me talk. You're not letting me talk right now. See, I'm only reading these quotes because you are a self-admitted anti-Semite, and I'm trying to hurt your feelings. I don't actually want to. I don't actually desire to say eloquent racist quotes. It's only because you are an anti-Semitic man, and I am trying to hurt your feelings. That's what's going on here. I don't actually desire for black people to feel humiliated. I don't have a desire for black people to feel bad. I just think you are a piece of shit. Concrete. Bye, Concrete. I'm gonna miss you so much. Miss you, baby. Miss you. Miss you, sweetie pie. So sweet. I miss you so much. Daniel, did you see the picture that Kitty made of me, the redhead, and you, the bull?
Yo, Sam, does this apply to you? I looked up what white fatigue is, and by look up, I mean I just asked ChatGPT to define it. It says white fatigue. Some key characteristics of white fatigue. Well, first, let me back up. White fatigue is a term that is used to describe a type of emotional or psychological exhaustion some white individuals experience when confronted with ongoing conversations about racism, prejudice, and inequality. Okay, but key characteristics. Let me know if this applies to you. A desire to move on or end conversations about race, frustration with
Verified that
What's your face uses? Like, is that part of
dealing with black people. So I was kind of just fatigued with dealing with white people, but I guess it's used to mean white people being fatigued with being shamed and blamed and tamed.
I mean, I think racial progress by saying, in doing so, you must be aware of the inheritors of